Hey guys, this is Dr. Callahan with Week 1 Thursday for Calculus AB. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Go ahead and pause the video and answer the following 3 questions for your warm-up log. All right, let's go ahead and create the assignment for Thursday. Up to this point, you should be able to access Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. Your guided notes and your warm-up log are attached to Week 1 Monday's assignment. Now, if you need a hard copy, you're absolutely welcome to come up to B1. It's right outside. I have a table, and you're welcome to go ahead and grab the hard copies for the warm-up log and also your guided notes for the first 9 weeks. All right, so this one is Week 1, Thursday, Calculus AB, Semester 2. And today we're going to continue on with integration, but involving trig functions. Your instructions today is to just simply watch the video and make sure you are doing that. In order to be marked present, you need to make sure you are watching the video, or excuse me, you need to view the assignment. And then also your academic grade, which is 10 points, is determined by uploading the work on that very day. You guys have 2 different links you need for this class. The first one is the YouTube channel for semester 2. And so far you should have 3 videos in there. With today's will be 4 videos. Calculus Google Doc is right here. That's the second link. Hard copies are available outside of my classroom. It's the third one right here, or the second one right there. And your schedule here is on the side right here as well. So for you guys, second period runs from 9:20 to 10:05. I generally take attendance right around 3 p.m. So make sure you have viewed the assignment to receive present standing. And all your assignments are due on the very same day by 3:30 p.m. I'm just gonna go ahead and click on sign. All right, so then for today, let's go ahead and take a look at what you're gonna be doing. So go to Week 1 Thursday, and if you do not have the guided notes or the hard copies in front of you, what I'm gonna do is I am going to save this to a PDF document, so that way you guys can go ahead and have access to it. And if you have a printer, rather than printing out 9 weeks worth of materials, there's really just today's stuff, which is about 3 pages. And you guys are on Week 1 Thursday, and I'm just gonna put Week 1 Thursday Calc AB Semester 2, and I'm just gonna put guided notes. And let's save it as a PDF. Save. Okay, so then going back to your MS team, your Thursday assignment should have popped up. And I'm going to attach this. And you should have the guided notes right there. And I will go ahead and send this. I see that Noah went ahead and wrote this. He said, Dr. Callahan was checking my option for next year. It's not letting me choose Calculus DC, and I'm not sure what to do. I will make sure to email your counselor and admin and figure this out. Okay, so if you are in the same boat and it's not allowing you to sign up for Calculus BC, I would suggest that you just hang on. It could probably be possibly that you haven't taken the AP test yet, and so they're not quite sure if you're qualified to go into Calculus BC. Although I didn't have this issue last year, but there's plenty of time for you to go ahead and sign on to this. So don't fret about it and don't worry. And so since I'm here anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and email this. Hey there. Notified to register to calculus BC. He is currently in maybe. Okay, Noah, and all you calculus kids, I will go ahead and see what they say and get back to you. Oh, excuse me. I really tried hard to go in and click that mute button, but it just did not work. Anyways, let's go back to this then. So you have the attachment and you should be good with this. Just keep in mind that you don't want to wait to the last minute to complete all these assignments. You want to do this systematically because every day you have 55 minutes of this class. So just make sure you are logging on to the assignment under MS Team and checking in. Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys your guided notes. Your guided notes right here starts off with the textbook questions on integration, and also it goes over some of the word problems and also trig functions. So we're going to go over a few of these questions in class today. It's a review of integration. You can access a video from the links right here. You do have to type it in, however, so make sure you do that. And if you need somebody to explain every single one of these, you're welcome to do that. Just type in the link and you will go into a video and it goes over all of these questions from your textbook. The second page is right here. This is the typed up or just written rules of the power rules for integration. So if you need another review, this is kind of the breakdown as to why we do this. I thought I did a pretty good job explaining it yesterday, but for those of you guys who actually need another refresher, this is another one. And I also have the step for some of the examples here. And of course, you have questions from your textbook that you can refer back to as well. Some of which these questions here we're going over on the guided notes with the video today. And some of these kind of look probably a little bit more familiar. Like for example, number 12, which is the integration of x times x squared plus 3 dx. Guess what? It's the same thing as the one right here. So I just selected a few of the questions from your textbook to go over. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started with that. This is the breakdown for today's class, Advanced Integration Problems, Day 3. I do have an activity that you're going to be working by yourself with little squares that we will end the class with. And then, of course, we have our video guided notes that I will go over a few questions. There is an online practice on definite integral problems. I'm going to go over one questions on definite integral, and then I'm going to have you guys practice it on your own. Okay, so with Math Excel, you do have access to that. So if you haven't logged on yet, my suggestion is you want to do that as soon as possible. So the way I access it is I just type in Math Excel and then Washoe County School District. It's the first one, it says Envision, that pops up. You do need to sign in using your login information with the district. And then for you guys, it's just Calculus, Math Excel. And once you get to this platform right here, go to Homework. And as you can see, your week 1 is already set up. You just have one assignment for week 1 since we had a later start. It is due on Sunday by 11:59 p.m. So just keep that in mind. Then you have week 2's assignment. Its topic is going to be on Riemann sum. Week 1's topic is on intro to integration. Week 3, you're going to have finding the area using geometry and then also integration with fundamental concept of calculus. Week 4 is accessible as well. So I stopped after week 4, and then as we proceed further on later, and actually I want to 1:30 first. I want to make week 4, Thursday and Friday accessible as well. So that way it's aligned. So you have access to all of week 4. Okay, so then there we go. That should be good. Okay, so up to week 4, you have available. Week 5, you can't really do it yet because I haven't changed the due date yet, but you will be able to at least see it. So if you're curious, what are we going to talk about in week 5? We're going to talk about multiple substitution methods to find the integration, and then also week 6, integration techniques using U-sub, split fraction, long division, etc. So that way, if you're like, I want to know what's going to happen all the way in week 15, we're going to talk about curve sketches with given properties. So that way you have kind of like an in-depth look as to what we're going to be working on later on into the semester. And after that, we kind of stop at week 15 because right around week 15, you guys will have your AP calculus exam, and that is basically it. And from week 15, there is no more homework assignment, and we'll just end there. So make sure you start working on week 1 on the intro to integrations on Math Excel. Keep in mind that Math Excel is the only homework assignment that you have. Anything that you do in class during school hours is practicing standards, and everybody generally does a pretty good job. So I pretty much give you like an 80 to 100% for everyone on that one. But the Math Excel is the one that you have to do on your own. So make sure you're not falling behind because your grade will be negatively impacted by that. Yesterday was Wednesday. You guys had your AP College Board, your first assessment. It's really just, I think, about 7 questions, multiple choice on integration. So it's not anything too difficult. So start the year right, with a good grade with AP College Board. All right, you guys, let's go back to this so we can continue on. If you cannot have access to Math Excel, make sure you let me know so I can assist you with it. You have week 1 to week 4 that is currently open. This is my email address. So if you need any assistance, please let me know. All right, so then with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to go ahead and go over the following 5 questions from your textbook. I think those are kind of the more difficult ones anyways. And so we'll do that. If you're having difficulties with, like, let's say number 68, for example, just type in the link right here on this tiny URL and you'll be able to watch the video that goes over all of these questions a little bit more. And it's also a different instructor going over these questions. So it's kind of nice to have 2 different people explaining this to you. Okay, so let's get ahead and get started. All right, first one, you have number 42. Cosine x over 1 minus cosine x. So like when we did derivative with trig functions, one of the things is you have to kind of rewrite this in order to find the derivative. Now with the integration, you can also rewrite this in a different way. And I know you guys practice with rewriting trig functions back in pre-calculus and trigonometry. And so you know that the formula sheet that I gave you back in week 1 Monday, and if you're not sure, you might want to go back to week 1 Monday's guided notes. There's a formula sheet of all the integrations of trig functions. Now, the one that I'm thinking of that we're probably going to have to use is the integration involving cotangent times cosecant x, which if you look at that formula, you're going to have is equal to negative cosecant x plus c. So my goal right now is to go ahead and rewrite this so that I have a cotangent x, cosecant x. So first things first, I can go ahead and write an integration of cosine x. And as I look over here, you know that back in trigonometry, you know that sine square x plus cosine square x equals 1. So then if I have cosine squared x minus 1, or actually if I were to move the cosine squared x over to the right side, you know that sine squared x equals 1 minus cosine squared x. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the denominator and replace the 1 minus cosine squared x with a sine squared x. Another strategy that we talked about last semester with this when we're dealing with derivatives is that if you have a sine squared x, you can actually break it down into sine squared x, or sorry, sine x times sine x, which makes sense. So I will write this as cosine x over sine x times 1 over sine x. And we haven't done anything that's like, illegal or anything. Everything is just a different way of writing trig. You know that cosine x over sine x is going to be cotangent x. And another way of writing 1 over sine x or sine to the negative 1x is going to be cosecant x. And ta-da, take a look over here. They do indeed match. So what is the integral of cotangent x and cosecant x dx? It's mean negative cosecant x plus c. And that is your answer for integration involving trig functions. So take a moment and soak that in. And the basic integration rules one that I'm talking about is this one here. This is from week 1, Monday. Now the differential rules are these are the ones that we memorize in semester 1. Semester 2, you're gonna have to memorize these ones here for the AP exam. So I want you guys to just take a moment and just look at this. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on forward. Okay, so number 2. Number 22, you guys have this one here, and it doesn't look like it's super difficult. It doesn't have any trig involvements with it, but it does have a square root and a fraction, which we just don't like. So let's go ahead and try to rewrite this. First thing I'm gonna do, the integration of x to the 1/2. So I'm gonna change it from a radical form to a exponential form. Plus, I know that this one is 2x to the positive 1/2, but if I bring it up, I'll have 1 over 2 x to the negative 1x dx. All right, so then let's just go ahead and do the reverse the power rule. Remember, with a power rule, you generally bring down the exponent, multiply it into the coefficient, but then you subtract the 1 for the power. So in this case, we're going to add a 1, which is 2 over 2, because we have common denominators, and that's a 3 over 2, so divided by 3 over 2. I would have to go ahead and flip this, so that's 2/3 times x to the positive 3 over 2. And then let's do the same thing with the second one. Add a 1 or a 2 over 2. So that's going to give you a 1/2. Whoops. Okay, let's move this over. 1/2. So I'm going to divide this by 1/2. And you're going to be very careful because you already have like a fraction on top. So I'm going to do a 1/2 times, flip that, 2 over 1, x to the positive 1/2 plus c. Okay, so then looking at this part here, you have a 2/3 x to the 3 over 2 plus this part cancels x to the 1/2 plus c, and that is your answer. Okay, so for number 40, I have a parenthesis here, so I want to go ahead and distribute that. So then I have the integration of secant x tangent x minus secant square x dx. Well, it's going to be pretty simple and straightforward. The integration of secant x tangent x is just secant x. The integration of secant squared x is just a tangent x plus c. So easy peasy. All right, so for number 52, if you take a look at this right here, it says find the particular solution, and what they're asking you for is to put your answer so that it is in a straight line. Here you have dy over dx. Now, first thing you want to do is you want to have your x's and y separated. So to get rid of this dx on the left side, I'm going to multiply dx on both sides. So if a negative, and you can move that x squared up to the -1/2 or -2 dx. So now let's apply the integration. Integral of dy is just going to be y. And the integration of -x to the -2 is going to be, you're going to add the 1 on top, a -1, divided by -1. So then you have a positive x to the -1 power, and then just plus c. So then looking at this, if I were to go ahead and rewrite it, I will bring that down to the denominator to make it a positive power of 1. So your equation in this case is just going to be 1 over x plus c. But another thing that you should notice is that they do give you a point here, which is going to be the point of 1, 3. So you're able to find c. So then what I'm going to do is I am going to change the y to a 3, replace the x with a 1 plus c. So c is going to be 2. So y is equal to 1 over x plus 2. And that is your equation. All right, number 62. It says find the particular solution, and when it says particular solution, it's just saying find whatever y is equal to or whatever f of x is equal to. So if f double prime of x equals sine x, you know that to get from an f double prime of x to a f prime of x, you will have to go backwards with the integration. Just like the first derivative, if you find this first derivative of the first derivative, that gives you the second derivative. The integral of the second derivative gives you the first derivative. So what is the integration of sine x? Well, if you look at your formula sheet here, integration of sine is going to give you a negative cosine. So negative cosine x plus c equals f prime of x. Well, it's given to you here that f prime of 0 equals 1. So let's plug this in. F prime of 0 equals a negative cosine of 0 plus c. So negative cosine of 0 is going to give you a -1. And it's also giving you that f prime of 0 equals 1. So equals 1. So -1 plus c equals 1. C equals positive 2. And that's good because you're going to use that to plug this number back over here to have f prime of x is equal to negative cosine x. Instead of put plus c, you put plus 2. Now our goal is to get f prime of x, so I will have to go ahead and do the integration of f prime of x, integration of negative cosine x plus 2 to get f of x. So what is the integration of cosine or negative cosine? Well, the integration of negative cosine or the integration of cosine is just a positive sign. So then a negative cosine is just going to give you a negative sine x. The integration of 2 is not 0 because then you're doing the derivative. Okay, so remember it's going to be 2x because you're working backwards plus c. And it's also given to you that f of 0 equals 6. So then if I do f of 0, because this is now f of x, negative sine of 0 plus 2 times 0 plus c is equal to 6. So see how we're working backwards? Well, sine of 0 is going to give you a 0. 2 times 0 is a 0. Plus c equals 6. So c equals 6. So then my final answer is f of x is equal to negative sine x plus 2x plus 6. And this is your answer. All right, you guys, I would suggest that you continue on practicing with this. So we went over the following 5 questions. You can go ahead and go over some of the other ones. If you need assistance, the link is right here. For the last part of class, I do have a envelope square question. Generally, if you're in class, I would have this cut up for you guys to work on, but since this is distance learning, it's going to be a combination of derivatives and integrals, because it's important that when you guys are taking the AP exam, you don't mix up the integrations with the derivatives. And I know that's hard because when you look at the formulas side by side, they look very, very similar. You know what I mean? Like the derivatives and the integrations, they look very similar. And so sometimes with the negatives, like the integration of cosine is, or excuse me, the derivative of cosine is negative sine, whereas the integration of sine is a negative cosine. I had a lot of students who will mix those up in the past. And so that's why I went ahead and decided to do this, so that way you guys have a little bit extra practice with it. So here are some of the questions: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. You can pause this and start working on it. Now, if you need some help with this, I do have the links that you can go ahead and type in to get some assistance with. And then J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. And so here are some other ones that you can go ahead and practice with as well. And of course, if you want to check your answers, I have the answers given to you right here. And the answers all the way up to number 18. All right, you guys, that is basically it. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and stay safe and healthy.